The Indiana Fever, Kelsey Money Mitch, put him in a ditch. Lexie Hull taking over. Arie McDonald and her farm giving me assists, giving me steals. 5 assists for Arie McDonald. Oh yeah, we're ready. We are ready. The Indiana Fever beat the Washington Mystics in the first game of the Commissioner's Cup, 85-76.
The Washington Mystics likely thought they had broken the Indiana Fever after bullying Sophie Cunningham in the preseason and embarrassing them with a dominant win on May 28th. With Caitlin Clark getting injured, many assumed the Fever were finished and wrote them off entirely.
Both of you just getting your first win after a 3-game losing streak, how did it feel?
I mean, I'm just proud of our group for staying with it. Obviously, we can't control injuries, we can't control any of that, but I think we had 2 really good practices this week, and to be able to come out and get a win after that, I'm just proud of us for fighting, and also just really proud of Arie for coming out and providing just some incredible minutes, 27 minutes, and she was ready. She stayed ready, and we needed every single one of those, and just really proud of the group.
But here's what the Mystics didn't count on. Sometimes when you knock a team down, they don't stay down. They get back up swinging harder than ever. On June 3rd, with their backs against the wall and their superstar sidelined, the Fever delivered one of the most satisfying revenge games you'll ever see. Show your support for the team by commenting, "I've got the Fever," below. Let's go.
Fever down, you know it's coming. Bow, bow, bow! On to the next. Woo! Feels good, baby. Woo! Making a win, kind of baby. That's a good-looking dog. Woo! Happy days.
Picture this. The Washington Mystics walked into CFG Bank Arena and beat the Fever 83-77. But it wasn't just the loss that stung, it was how they did it. The Mystics treated Indiana like a rookie team that didn't even belong on the same court. They played with a cocky attitude that practically screamed, "We own you."
Indiana Fever lose to a young Washington Mystics team, 83-77. Look lost without Caitlin Clark.
I'll say it. Fire Stephanie White. Oh boy.
The disrespect started long before that game. Remember what the Mystics did to Sophie Cunningham during the preseason? They bullied her like she was a nobody, shoving her around and treating the Fever like punching bags for their own entertainment. That behavior set the tone for everything that followed.
And that's Kiki Arafin, and I gotta tell you, here we go with the smiling like you've done. I don't get it. This is the worst part of the WNBA. It is.
Then came the injury that changed everything. Caitlin Clark went down with a left quad strain on May 26th against the New York Liberty. The basketball world immediately wrote the Fever's obituary. Everyone said they were done without their superstar. 2 weeks minimum, they said, maybe even longer. And here's where it got brutal for Indiana. After Clark went down, they couldn't buy a win. First, the Liberty beat them. Then the Mystics embarrassed them on May 28th. And the Connecticut Sun piled on with another loss on May 31st. 3 straight defeats, 3 games of the same narrative. The Fever are nothing without Caitlin Clark.
This was a absolute embarrassment. An embarrassing performance from the Indiana Fever.
The Mystics probably looked at their schedule and saw June 3rd as another easy win. And why wouldn't they? Indiana looked like they were falling apart. Their best player was on the bench in street clothes, and the team seemed lost, confused, and completely outmatched every time they stepped on the court. But that's exactly what made this the perfect setup for revenge. The Mystics expected another punching bag. They expected the same broken team they had dominated just days earlier. Washington walked into that building thinking they were about to feast on a wounded animal. They had no idea what was coming. While everyone else thought the Fever were crumbling, Indiana spent those dark days after the losing streak doing something the Mystics never saw coming. They weren't breaking down. They were building up. And what they built made
Mitchell
Washington regret
every
single moment
She
of
moved the ball
disrespect
around and found
they had
open
shown.
teammates.
With Caitlin
When
Clark
Washington
sidelined, the
double-teamed
question
her,
was,
she stayed calm
who
and
would
made
step
the
up
right
to
play.
lead this revenge mission?
Her three-point shooting
The answer
became
came
deadly.
from someone who had
She hit
quietly
shot
been
after shot
preparing
from
for this
beyond the
moment.
arc,
Kelsey
watching the
Mitchell,
Mystics scramble to
Clark's
adjust their
backcourt
defense.
partner over the last year, and the heart and soul of the franchise for nearly a decade, Mitchell suddenly found herself carrying the hopes of the entire team on her shoulders.
Fever had the first 4. Washington has rattled off 8 in a row. Indiana's missed 5 straight shots. Mitchell catch and shoot and ends it with a 3.
Great screen on the baseline by Bonner. She's point guard of the future for them.
Mitchell turns the corner, gets inside, and lays it in.
Look at Mitchell. I'm telling you, Pat, what am I going to say about Mitchell?
Mitchell knew exactly what this game meant. She had been on the court when the Mystics embarrassed them just days earlier. She had watched Washington treat her team like they didn't belong. The pressure was enormous. Everyone expected the Fever to fold without their superstar. But Mitchell had a point to prove, that Indiana was more than just one player. From the opening moments of the game, it was clear the Fever needed someone to step up and take control. Mitchell looked around the court and realized it had to be her. She had been playing professional basketball for years, but this moment felt different. This was her chance to lead a team to victory when it mattered most. And that's where Mitchell's mindset became everything. She wasn't thinking about personal stats or chasing glory. She was focused on one thing: avenging the disrespect her team had endured. The Mystics knew she'd be the primary scoring threat without Clark, and they built their defense to shut her down. But Mitchell had no choice. She had to find a way to break through their schemes and lead her team, no matter what.
All of that comes into play, and Indiana's done a nice job feeding the post.
Mitchell off the screen, finds some space. Oh, it's a much-needed 3. McDonald trying to use that Boston screen. McDonald inside, Mitchell hangs, lays it in, and a foul. Kelsey Mitchell trying to put the finishing touches on this one.
Kelsey Mitchell started attacking the basket early, setting the tone from the opening minutes. When Washington double-teamed her, she stayed calm, moving the ball around and finding open teammates. Her decision-making was sharp, and she consistently made the right play. Then came her three-point shooting. It became deadly. She hit shot after shot from beyond the arc, forcing the Mystics to scramble and constantly adjust their defense.
See Mitchell breaking out of her slump a little bit, making some big plays down the stretch. Also something that Kelsey Mitchell did late in that game, she got hit by McDonald with a pass. She moved without the ball. And Kelsey's the kind of player you can give her the ball and let her cook, clear out, but also it's going to make her tough to guard when she is able to be active without the ball in her hands. So that was a good sign, I think, for the Fever's offense and some of that motion offense that Stephanie White is trying to instill.
The veteran guard shot 7 of 14 from the field and knocked down 4 of 7 from three-point range. But the real magic happened in the fourth quarter when Washington tried to mount a comeback. Mitchell sealed the deal with a crucial three-point play that extended the Fever's lead. The Mystics had no answer for her when it mattered most. She proved that Indiana had more than one dangerous scorer. Her teammate Ari McDonald praised her afterward, saying, Asterisk, she did everything amazingly and with such grace. Asterisk. In that moment, the veteran showed exactly what true leadership looks like under pressure.
See Money Mitch. Oh yeah. Take us home, Kels. Take us home. 24 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. It feels good to be coming here to you after this game.
But here's what made Mitchell's performance even more special. She didn't just score points, she created opportunities for everyone else. Coach Stephanie White highlighted that the team recorded 21 assists on 30 made field goals, a testament to how well the ball was moving. Mitchell's willingness to share the ball and trust her teammates opened up the entire offense. She helped turn the Fever into a team that could beat anyone. Sometimes, the best revenge comes from the players no one saw coming. While Kelsey Mitchell rightfully grabbed the headlines, 2 other Fever players delivered the knockout punch that left Washington stunned. Lexie Hull and Ari McDonald turned this game into something the Mystics never saw coming.
Lexie Hull, who continues to shine. I mean, Lexie Hull has just been terrific this season. She is shooting the ball at an unbelievable clip. talk about drawing fouls, talk about energy, talk about plus minus not being a deceiving stat. That is the case with Lexie Hull, who's plus 19 in this game, and it feels completely accurate, right? I mean, she's shooting 57% from three on the season going in, 52% from the field. I believe that's going in as well, but regardless, you get the point. Shooting the ball well.
Let's talk about Hull first. While Lexie brought her usual hustle, she was completely invisible offensively in the first half, scoring 0 points. The Mystics probably thought they had her figured out. At halftime, she sat on the bench knowing her team needed more from her. But Hull stayed ready. She kept working hard and waited patiently for her moment to shine.
Lexie Hull, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Lexie Hull, taking it off the dribble, taking it off the dribble, reverse layup. Lexie Hull, what got into you today, Lexie? What got into you in that third quarter? Holy smokes. Lexie Hull. Dude, Lexie Hull taking Sonia Citron off the dribble. Yeah, she's like that. Lexie Hull, reverse layup. Okay, Lexie, go on with your bad self. Go on with your bad self.
But that's when the magic happened. Hull came out firing in the second half, going 5 of 6 from the field in the third quarter alone. All 14 of her points came after halftime. She also grabbed 6 rebounds and dished out 4 assists, transforming into the player the Fever desperately needed. Now, here's where it gets crazy with Ari McDonald. The Fever signed her on an emergency hardship contract just days before this game. Think about that pressure. Clark was injured, Sophie Cunningham was out, Sydney Colson was sidelined, and McDonald had to fly to Indianapolis, study film on the plane, and learn the plays from the coaching staff, all before being thrown into the biggest revenge game of the season.
Dealing with a bit of a personnel problem when Clark goes down, and then Colson goes down, and then obviously Cunningham goes down to the point where even without Clark, they didn't really have much of a capable backup, and then the backup goes down. By the way, shout out to Sydney Colson, who actually played well in this game, really banged up, taking it on the chin for the Fever. That's another thing that McDonald did well also, is put her body on the line. You know, she doesn't have a guaranteed spot, so you got to give her respect